Welcome back to the MMA Plug, presented to you by the Talk of Colorado on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio. I'm your host, Jordan Kurtz. You can give me a follow at Comments from the Peanut Gallery, sitting alongside the Big N's UFC middleweight Josh Friend. Give him a follow at Josh Friend MMA. If you're watching along online, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so you do not miss a drop. We are about to get into this weekend's UFC Vegas 58 preview. Josh, we have a matchup that is finally going to happen, that was booked months ago, that was canceled due to Uncle Corona making a visit into the equation. We have two top lightweights in Rafael dos Anjos, the former UFC lightweight champion, taking on the rising prospect in Rafael Fiziev.
So we have the Battle of the Rafaels, eh?
Yes, we do.
So one of them got to change their name after this fight. I think that should have been put up.
Well, it depends on how you want to say it, you know. I mean, they're spelled the same, but you have Rafael versus Rafael, you know, and just if we're getting technical here.
I mean, I feel like they're both supposed to be pronounced one way, but us being dumb Americans don't. Well, I mean, you probably understand. I don't understand, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're guys from completely different parts of the world. You know, Portuguese uses the R like an H. You know, it's a little bit different.
Hey, curtsy,
dialects
curtsy.
and
Look at me,
languages.
curtsy. Tomato, tomato. Continue on.
But, you know, Josh, when we're taking a look at this matchup itself, RDA has kind of found himself right back in the mix. At his age, he might be this one last opportunity to make a run. You know, with the fight being against a specialist in Muay Thai the way that Fiziev is, it's not to say that RDA is not good on the feet, because he's good, but he's not great.
Yeah.
On the ground, he's incredible, but his offensive wrestling to get it there is not the strongest.
I agree with what you're saying there, and I kind of just replay the Anthony Pettis and Dos Anjos fight. Like, Dos Anjos was an offensive wrestler in that fight. I mean, it was like a barrage of obviously offensive strikes, but leading in, blending into a takedown and everything. And I mean, when you look at it stylistically wise, this is just another Dos Anjos versus Anthony Pettis.
That's a fair point.
Do you agree? Do you think Fiziev and Anthony Pettis are on like almost the same wavelength of striking? One's more of Taekwondo, one's more Muay Thai, but they are striking arts.
I think that's a fair analysis there, but where I'll counter it is that I feel like Anthony Pettis is not afraid to get taken down because his best grappling is from his guard game.
From his guard, yeah.
So I feel like, you know, to say, you know, if we're talking about takedown defense, maybe some of those and it's not just to say Anthony Pettis, it's to say guard players in general.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of getting taken down, or you're not necessarily that you're not afraid of, but you're more willing to be taken down or conceding certain positions because you feel like you have advantages or strengths once it gets down to that point.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, completely.
As opposed to someone like Fiziev, who I feel like he wants to stay on his feet at all costs.
100%.
So will the rest, and that was also, if we're taking it back to that point of that was peak Dos Anjos too.
Oh, peak.
That was peak. You know, that was championship run.
Yeah.
Is he still at that level?
Is he still that guy? That's the question we're asking.
That's the question that we're asking, especially at his age. I don't know, Josh. I mean, that's why they fight the fight, but I don't know. I mean, you would have to think that Dos Anjos has more tools in the tool bag to get the job done.
Yeah.
But for every fighter who is at that potential age cliff at that later stages of your 30s, I feel like it's almost on a fight-to-fight basis of seeing, like, okay,
how you perform.
Has it started to go yet?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a complete fair assessment. But I haven't really, we haven't really seen a bunch of people attack Fiziev wrestling wise. Like, we've seen a lot of striker versus striker matchups.
And I mean, I think that's the wizardry of Sean Shelby doing his job. Yeah. You know, he's been very smart in the matchup selections that he's had for Fiziev up to this point. People that are going to entertain him on the feet. You have Bobby Green, who is a phenomenal wrestler, but Bobby just doesn't wrestle.
Bobby's a dog.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to wrestle.
Bobby chooses to use his wrestling more defensively than anything, but again, like that's his primary background is his wrestling.
He was about as smart as Sean Strickland.
Hey, you know what? It happens.
It is what it is.
But Josh, when it gets down to it, who do you have in this fight?
Looking at the lines over here, Curtsy, we got Dos Anjos at a plus 180. And if you look at Dos Anjos by submission, it says plus 800. And the only way that I see Dos Anjos winning is possibly a knockdown to get into, jiu-jitsu or offensive wrestling, taking him down and then suffocating him and then getting a submission. So I'm a huge Fiziev fan. I think that what he's doing is awesome. Like, it's very cool to watch. It's like Neo in the Matrix. But I also like Dos Anjos. So this is more of just I'm betting on feelings, which kids don't ever bet with your feelings. Never.
It doesn't work well.
Never works out.
You will have your feelings hurt.
Because you will have your feelings hurt. But I think that I'm going to go with Dos Anjos on this one. Just because, wrestling and grappling, I think that that's something that he's had in his toolbox for a very long time. And that is something that won't go away as fast as maybe a striking perception of reaction time and everything like that. So I'm going to go hit the plus 180 with Dos Anjos.
I like that pick, and I also feel like the over might be a strong consideration.
Yeah.
Just because when you have somebody like RDA, he is a strong, savvy veteran who has trained for 25 fights or 25-minute fights for the better part of the last 8 to 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
Ever since he was on the rise to being a champion and beyond, he's always been a guy who has been in these marquee type of fights, whether it's him building or him being a gatekeeper for somebody else at 55 as well as 170. He's just been in big fight after big fight. So he's as seasoned as you can possibly get. He's a cast iron skill in that regard. He's a guy who is prepared for all takers.
I completely agree with you, except for the fact that there are weird people out there, Curtsy, that I actually just learned about that actually clean their skillets. So the seasoning whole aspect, don't clean your cast iron skillets. Leave the seasoning in there.
Well, you got to re-season it if you do clean it. I mean, come on,
These people.
Come on. But moving along to the co-main event, we have a middleweight matchup between a couple of rising prospects who are both Dana White Contender Series vets. You have Caio Bogalio taking on Armon Petrossian.
This is going to be a banger, Curtsy.
Oh, certainly.
An absolute banger. I was a little confused as their spot on the card, but the closer we get to it, the more I'm like, you know what? No, this should be in that position, especially for a fight night card. I think that Caio and Armon Petrossian they're absolute studs coming from the Contender Series, and what Armon was able to do against Gregory Rodriguez was phenomenal. So I think that this is going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, and on the other side of the coin, I think that the UFC is, and don't get me wrong, like Petrossian, they're putting there in that spot for a reason, but I think that they're trying to push Caio.
Yes, 100%. I think that they are trying to push Caio.
This is back-to-back co-main event slots that he's been in so far.
And I mean, the kid is definitely pushable. He's marketable. I think that this is going to be a very tough fight for him. Looking at the lines, they have Petrossian as the underdog, and it's very surprising to me.
See, I'm not surprised, Josh. I'm
all right,
really not.
All right, Diaz,
and
whatever, bro.
This is just, hey, I mean, I'm not surprised. But, when we're taking a look at the, again, tools that they bring within the tool belt for victory, Caio has a better skill set.
Yeah.
Petrossian is lethal on the feet, don't get me wrong, but he wants to keep it there. If you've seen his fights of the history and you watch his style, that is 100% where he wants to be. He wants to be on the feet. But Caio can knock you out, and he can out-grapple you in most situations. I mean, it was a Dagestani guy that he broke the man in that last fight.
Yeah.
It was a technical decision, which based off of the poke, and it was into the third round, or the foul that was committed.
Yeah.
They decided to go to the cards. but he was dominating that fight, Josh. He
Yeah.
was absolutely dominating that fight. It was a one-sided affair, and I can understand why they're trying to push him. You know, he's a big, young, again, marketable kid coming out of Brazil who can tap into an entire market for the UFC. It's understandable on the business side for them on that.
Yeah, and there's a ton of other like high-level UFC fighters who are speaking very highly of him. So he's trained and he's been around with a lot of high-level guys, and if they're speaking highly of him, there's something to it.
Certainly. With that being said, who's your pick?
Who? All feelings, no facts. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go for the underdog, Petrossian. I gotta go with the underdog.
Okay.
I definitely think that you're making great points. Kyle has great abilities to do all of what you said. I'm just all feelings this time. Always root for the underdog. Let's go, Petrossian.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the opposite here, and I'm going to roll with Kyle on that one. Josh, as we put a spotlight on maybe a fight, a couple of fighters, or a prop line or two that catches our eyes, who are you putting the spotlight on this week?
This one caught my attention. I think it's going to be absolute madness. I kind of feel it's going to be one of those things where you see like some of your favorite fighters might end up on the bad side of things, but he's been coming around a bit again. You know, we got Michael Johnson versus Jamie Malarkey. You know, Jamie Malarkey's coming off a streak of wins. He's doing absolutely phenomenal. Michael Johnson, he's back, baby. And I think this is an exciting matchup. It's a scary matchup for the Menace, but it's an exciting matchup. And he has a possibility to go out there and, you know, silence some people.
Yeah, you know, Michael Johnson is, we've talked about him just a couple of weeks ago, very quick turnaround, and that's a guy who can beat anybody on any given night.
Any given Sunday. You've seen the movie. It can happen.
Josh, you know what I didn't realize, and I just don't know, and it's probably because he just looks like, you know, he has the white eyebrows and everything. I didn't realize that Jamie Malarkey's only 27.
Only 27.
I thought that he was older than that.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
He just had he just had that type of look to him. But
What about you, Kurtzy? What are you looking at?
what I'm taking a look at here, you know, the guy or the matchup overall that I think stands out to me, it's a prelim matchup, but it's with a couple of names that have some recognition behind them. One of them being Amin Zahabi. If that last name sounds familiar, yes, that is the brother of TriStar head coach and owner out there in Montreal. That's Firas Zahabi's brother. He is taking on the return of Ultimate Fighter, so Tough 29 champion Ricky Turcios.
Let's go, Ricky!
It's tough to say what Zahabi is going to bring back to the cage because he's only had one fight in like the last 3 years pretty much, and that was against Draco Rodriguez, and he won in the first round in about 3.5 minutes by a knockout, by a TKO. But it's tough to say because I don't think that he has the power to be able to do that to Ricky. I don't think he has the offensive wrestling to be able to put Ricky where he wants him on the ground. Zahabi does have a good ground game, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think that he has the tools to be able to put down Ricky. And on the other side, like, Ricky is all heart. I love watching Ricky Turcios fight.
I became a huge fan watching him on The Ultimate Fighter. And this dude is a dog.
He is a dog.
Hadouken!
Yeah,
Just,
of course I'm going for Ricky.
Of course. I think that's a great choice, and it's going to be an exciting fight.
Yeah, certainly, Josh. And, of course, we can't go and wrap this segment talking about the UFC card this weekend without giving a shout-out to our boy, friend of the show, teammate, calling on the broadcast table for Colorado Combat Club, Cody Brundage.
100%. I couldn't pick Cody and Trayshawn in my feature fight because it would look biased, but I'm going to be 100% biased right now. Cody Brundage is going to go out, and he's going to get another 50K performance bonus. Cody has looked phenomenal in the gym. His striking is elite. His wrestling has always been amazing. His jiu-jitsu has gotten just phenomenal. His strength conditioning, he's just at another level. So all feelings plus all facts. Cody Brundage, he's going to win this week.
Yeah, I think Cody is going to maul Gore in this matchup, and it's all due respect to Gore. I just think that Cody has so many more routes to victory.
And if you guys want to make money, a lot of people haven't, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but the lines, they have Cody as the underdog. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. At a plus 180, I think it's at right now, which is absurd. Wait, no, plus 120. I'm sorry, plus 120. If you want to go, make yourself a little money, my Venmo is at Josh Fremd. Go ahead and throw me your 10% afterwards, because once this week starts closing down, the closer it gets to Friday, I guarantee you that line changes. And you're not going to make money on it, because people are actually going to get smart when they see these guys stand next to each other and be like, oh, okay, wait, hold up. So I already got my money in. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's definitely great value there. I don't want to go too far down the feelings over facts right here because, again, I talk about don't bet with your feelings.
Don't bet with your feelings.
Don't bet with your feelings.
But I curtsy. I said feelings and facts.
But that is feelings and facts right there because of all the things that's mentioned. Cody's just Cody is
Cody,
a collegiate wrestler.
Ricky, dog.
Dog.
Cody Brundage, dog.
Let's put it this way. Tresean Gore's best opportunity for victory is finding that one hard shot.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that he hits harder than Alchimbula. I'm butchering that name this time.
Oh, look at who's butchering names now.
Oh, yeah. Go figure.
And also, have you seen Cody Brundage's head? The thing is massive.
Yeah, that's a block.
That's a cinder block. You're probably going to break your hands.
So, yeah, I mean, with that being said, I think Cody has shown that he's durable and technical.
Yes.
So if you want the actual analysis behind why that is such a good value pick, I think that it's that right there. When we're talking about Tresean, it's nothing against him, but he's still very early on in his career as far as the seasoning and veteran experience goes. You could look at that and say, oh, well, Cody doesn't have a giant list of pro fights. But yes, but Cody was also a collegiate wrestler. So when we're talking in terms of combat sports related direct experience or mat time, anybody who's gone through an entire collegiate regiment, you've got some seasoning and you've got the experience that has to be respected.
Oh, 100%.
Certainly. What do you folks think about our thoughts on this weekend's UFC Vegas 58 preview? Let us know online on social media. Me at Comments from the Peanut Gallery. You can let Josh know at Josh Fremd MMA. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching online and smash that bell so you do not miss a drop. This is the MMA Plug presented to you by the Talk of Colorado on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That helps us continue to produce this original MMA content and bring it for you every single week. Tune in to the MMA Plug presented by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m.
or live stream at DenverSportsBetting.com/radio.